The Unihertz Tank, no doubt one of the coolest releases of late last year. A lot like that car that Jeremy Clarkson built. It was the Mercedes shell on top of a Land Rover. It kind of looks like that. But unlike that monstrosity, the tank is actually useful in day-to-day life. And that's one of the things that's the most surprising about it. Not only is it an attention getter, every time I go out with this thing, people want to hold it, they ask about it. But when they start using it for a few minutes, they realize that it actually works as a regular smartphone and it does a good job of it. In fact, if you were to take kind of this exterior away and reduce the weight and just give me the phone as is with the display and the performance and all the rest of it, I would like that a lot. In fact, that's kind of what the TikTok S is. I'll link that video at the end of this one for a little bit less money. $369 still on the tank. But when you consider what you get, and the build quality, and the battery, and the fact that it works as well as it does, that becomes a deal in a hurry. So the first thing is, if you have been daily driving this for the past few months, and your forearms are ripped at this point, £1.25 pounds is what people notice first about the tank. But, if you get over that, and listen, that's a big if, okay? You got to carry it around in a bag or a pocket or something like that. If you can get over that, or if you need something like this, construction work, you're a camper, hiker, and this makes sense for you. You're putting it in a bag anyway, it doesn't make a difference. Or it's living in your truck, so the standby time or the lack of standby drain is a big deal for you, because if you're using this for work, if you buy them for your company, you buy a fleet of them, you throw these in the trucks overnight, you're not going to have to worry about battery drain because it's insignificant. But if you could get by that, and you're actually looking to use one of these, the performance is really good. The screen is nice, 1080p, which a lot of these rugged phones are topping out at 720p, and you notice it. It's not a bad 1080p display. It's a good 1080p display with good color and good contrast, and the performance just works. It just works. Yeah, it's just as durable and rugged. The military drop testing and all the rest of it, the military standard on this device, yes. IP68, dust and water resistance, yes. But a lot of phones have that. The thing that becomes an issue is when they have that, and then you start using them, the first thing that usually jumps out at you is the display. You're literally counting pixels, and it's just a dull, slow experience. And you know immediately you're using, it's one of those rugged phones. It's one of those cheap rugged phones that just doesn't work. The Helio G99 in this thing does a great job of preventing that. And there's never going to be a moment that you're using the tank, you say, geez, I wish I had more. Especially now for $369 when you put the whole package together. Link in the description, by the way, does directly help the channel if you use the link. But there's never going to be a moment when you regret the purchase on the performance side for the tank. 8 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of storage. The battery, 22,000 milliamp hours. We'll get to the performance in a moment. The good thing about this is they keep updating it as well. That's kind of the genesis of why we're doing a review video or kind of an update video, is because Unihertz themselves is updating the tank. There's at least 2 in the past month or so, mostly to do with charging and efficiencies and all the rest of it, and how it handles the power management of the device itself. I have noticed a bit more mobile network drain. I'm on T-Mobile. I don't know if that's network specific to T-Mobile or it's the updates on the device itself, but I have noticed a little bit more drain than usual, accounting for the mobile network drain on there. It's okay. It's still not bad. In fact, you can look. This is 2 weeks between back and forth here, use and not, and then you're looking at 56% battery life still on it. So every couple weeks, if you could top it off, it's probably a good idea, but you can still make it the entire month, depending on your use case. All right, if you're using it heavy, then it's going to be every week. Every 2 weeks, you're going to want to top this off. If it's lighter use, then every month you could probably get away with. But overall, I'm really happy with the battery. And then you add in the build quality. Then you add in the 1200 lumen camping lamp on the back. You add in the reverse wired charge. Okay, for other devices, you could use this essentially as a battery bank. That's fine. But as far as living with it, I want to talk about the cameras on it, because it's not that bad camera-wise either. We're going to throw up some shots here. This is the first one that I took. It's a 108 megapixel sensor on the back of the tank. Takes good photos. You also have the night vision, the IR, and all the rest of it as well that works. And it's 20 megapixels, so it's not a fuzzy night image either. It's a pretty good one. But you have that one image you can see here. In addition to that, you have the Google kind of AI enhancements that the tank includes with this version of Android that you could use, and you can see the difference. Brightens it up, makes it a little sharper. So if you're worried about the image quality on the tank, that's something that can help you along the way as well. Take advantage of kind of those Google AI enhancements, and you'll be fine. And you can see, then we'll come back here, and you can see the infrared. Really nice infrared here. There's a lot of light, so it's a little bit tough. So some of the stuff is blown out. But you can see good detail on that. It's not a cheap infrared sensor. It'll get the job done in multiple different conditions. And that could go for anything. If you don't want the camping lamp on for some reason, if you don't want to alert attention to yourself, if you're in the woods at night, if you're hiking, if you're at the job site early on, and for whatever reason you don't want to turn the light on, or the light's not going to be as good pulling out detail that you need, then throw on the infrared and you'll be able to see in the dark. And I think that's just really cool. Between the whole package, a tempered glass screen protector on there. You get that little toolbox that they give you on there. That's their Unihertz tooling, like the leveling and all the rest of it. Plus the automatic programming, the SOS in for the camping lamp. You could activate that. If you are lost out in the woods somewhere, you could pop that up. People having SOS, you could see it from the air. Certainly no problems with that. In fact, in my original video, you can see how bright it actually gets. It turns night into day, and it absolutely does that. This is a huge light. Don't point at anybody's face, that's for sure. In fact, when I show people want to know how the camping lamp works. Don't forget, this button up here is what activates it, but you got to hold it, and it's indented here. It's not meant for accidental touches. So you go ahead, you pop this, and it gets bright. The camera kind of adjusts the white balance for it and the exposure, but it gets really bright. You just throw it up against a surface, people are like, "Whoa! Don't shine that at me. Leave that be." The people were asking if the convenience key or the programmable key on the side is sensitive. It's a little sensitive. I've noticed myself hitting it on and off. In fact, that was in the YouTube short that I put. I was hitting the flashlight on and off because of that, because it was kind of leaning against the table. But overall, you're going to be happy. The build quality is nothing to be doubted. It's got that Unihertz industrial design. The battery's holding up okay, and they are constantly working on it, which is good to see. Android 12 is running fine on it, no problems. Material you love it or you hate it. That's something at this point. Fingerprint sensor is good. Face unlock works well. Overall, there's a lot to like here for $369. So if you've been on the fence about it, if you've been thinking about it even as a daily driver, you can. But keep in mind, £1.25, all right? So you're gonna need the overalls, you're gonna need suspenders, you're gonna need the way to keep your pants up, unless you're putting it in a messenger bag, a bag you carry with you, a purse, something like that. If you have a way to carry this around without it totally inconveniencing you, then it might be worth it to you. If you're a light user of your phone, you don't really want to worry about charging it every night, you want to leave it in your car, you don't really care, it's something for you that it could get use out of it. And the daily stuff that you want to do, social media, taking pictures, Chrome, everything that you're going to want to look up on there, daily stuff, calls, WhatsApp, it's going to be fine. It's going to be more than fine. You're going to forget that you're using a rugged device, because the performance on these rugged devices is usually that poor. If you've made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Until next time, have that Steve-licious day.